Hello everybody, welcome to the session on arrays. I am Mr. Naveen S. Bhagat, working as Assistant Professor in Department of IC, STM Institute of Technology. Arrays. In simple term, I can say array as a collection of data elements. I will consider 10 integer values and arrange them in an order. Now, those 10 integer values, I can say them as array of integer values. Coming to the introduction, we have the knowledge of how to declare and use individual variables. As the syntax given, the data type followed by a variable name. Example, int followed by num. Num is a variable which will store integer values into it. So here the variables will store a single value. Variables will store a single value. Now we should know why we need array. Consider a scenario where you need to find out the average of 10 integer numbers entered by user. In C, you have two ways to do this. One is define 10 variables with int data type and then perform 10 scanf operations to store the entered values in the variables, and then at last calculate the average of them. I have given that as a program here. You can observe I have declared 10 integer variables A1, A2, A3 up to A10. I will ask the user to enter values into those 10 variables. So for reading, I have written separate scanf for each variable. Scanf %d ampersand A1. So this will read an integer value and store in A1. Next scanf will read the integer value in A2 and up to A10. So at the end, I am calculating the average A1 plus A2 plus A3 up to A10 divided by 10. So it will give the average of 10 integer values and store in the variable avg. Store in the variable avg. And at the end, I am displaying the average of 10 values is %d/n. So this will give you the 10 integer values average. Here the scenario becomes complex whenever the number of values goes on increasing. Now in this case we have read 10 values, so 10 variables can be declared and read. If I want to read 100 values or 1000 values, then the concept becomes more complex. So for that, the arrays give a solution. So this diagram shows how the memory locations are given to the declared variables. For each variable, the separate memory location is allocated and values will be stored in these memory locations. So the second way is we have a single integer array to store all values, loop the array to store all entered values in array, and later calculate the average. So the diagram here shows the first way where we declared a separate variables. So I will make changes to the same diagram. Now same 10 blocks is taken, and instead of naming it separately, all 10 blocks will be named under one name, that is ARR. ARR will point to complete 10 blocks. Complete 10 blocks. And this is the format to declare an integer array. Here int, that is a data type. The ARR is the array name, and in the square bracket we should specify the size. So 10. So I have got here 10 blocks of array. So if you specify 5, it will give you the 5 block of array. So added to this, we should have the data elements positions. When we enter data elements into this array, we should know the positions of those data elements. So this will be specified with the name index. Index will provide you the positions of the data elements. Always the index of an array will start with 0 and end with size minus 1. That is, in this case, size is 10. So the last block will get the size minus 1. That is 10 minus 1, 9 as the index value. So these index values will provide you the positions of data elements. Out of two ways considered for discussion, which solution is better according to you? Obviously, the second solution. It is convenient to store same data types in one single variable and later access them using array index. So how can I define array? An array is a group of same data type or collection of same data types. For example, an integer array holds the elements of int types. A float array holds the elements of float types. Array classification. Arrays are classified into two types. One is single dimensional array and the other multi-dimensional array. For our discussion, we will consider two-dimensional array under the multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array is a linear list consisting of related elements of same type. How to declare one-dimensional array in C? The syntax data type followed by the array name and in the square bracket array size. Example, int the data type, num the array name and the array size 25. So this will declare an integer array of 25 elements. A block of 25 elements will be created where it will store 25 integer values. Then char character data type, ch is the variable name and the size is 10, which can store 10 character elements. Initialization of values manually. Considering the array name A with size 5, so we can write like this. In the flower bracket, specify the data values you want to enter inside the array. So 2 will be stored in the 0th index, 4 in the first index, 7 in the second index, 10 in the third index and 12 in the fourth index. This is initialization of values manually. If you want to do the initialization during execution of the program, so that is dynamically, then in this case we are considering another variable called count and it is initialized to value 1. So we are assigning the count value to the array element. So I equal 0, I less than 5 plus plus array of I. So I is initially 0, array of 0 equal to count. So count is having value 1. So that will be added to the array ARR of 0. So you can observe here, I have shown array of 0 equal to 1 is assigned. Then count is also incremented, I is also incremented. Now count value is 2 and I value is 1. So then get this executes Now array of 1 equal to 2 will be assigned. And it goes on. Array of 2 will get 3, array of 3 will get 4, and array of 4 will get 5. Then reading the array elements using scanf function. So here we have declared the array marks with the size 6, which will store integer values. So for using the scanf, we use the for loop. So which will start with I equal to 0 and goes up to I less than 6. Because when we start the index at 0, the last element will get the size minus 1. So I less than 6 is suitable here. Then I plus plus. So scanf percentage d comma ampersand marks of I. When I is 0, marks of 0 will get the value. Then when I increment it, I becomes 1. Marks of 1 will get the next red value. Then I becomes 2. Marks of 2 will get the next red value. So it loops until I is less than 6. When I becomes 6, it will come out of the loop. So it will read 6 elements. In a similar way, we can display the array elements. Instead of scanf earlier, we use printf here. Okay. So use the for loop and use the printf to display the array elements. In this session, we discussed on what an array is, the classification of arrays, how to declare one-dimensional array, how to initialize the data elements into the array manually and dynamically, and also discussed how to use scanf and printf functions along with arrays. So you can also refer the given video link for further study. In the next session, we will discuss on multi-dimensional arrays and few more examples using arrays. Thank you.